Hey girl, hey. So, I'm kind of chilling here. It is pretty late. I don't really know what time it is, but I never really film at night. So this is kind of different, but I mean, I was gonna film earlier today and I was like all ready and everything. I was like, I'm just really not feeling it, and I didn't even know what video I was gonna film anyway, so whatever, I'll film another day this weekend. But today I'm just gonna do a little bit of a rave video about the Hunger Games series. I am in love with this book series. Okay, sorry, my hair and makeup's like really faded because, you know, I just explained that I'm like in PJs. I heart New York! The Hunger Games series. I'm reading it right now, again, for the second time. I'm reading it on my Kindle. Sorry, I wish I had like the book to like show the cover and like hold it up to you guys, but I don't, so I'll insert a picture of it so you guys can like compare if you've seen the cover. I don't know, I'm just inserting a picture of it. Anyway, so I'm reading it on my Kindle, and right now it's apparently in sleep mode with this lovely creature on the front. That's awesome. It was like 2 weeks ago is when I read them, I'm pretty sure. So I decided to read them because people have been telling me forever that, like, asking me, have you read the Hunger Games? You should read it. It's just like, I've heard of it like everywhere. Oh, and the movie also is coming out in a couple months, next month. Next month? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I was really skeptical about them, and one night I was just like, I kind of felt like reading. I'm not a big reader, just FYI, but I'm still obsessed with them. Like, I'm a big reader, sort of, if I'm already into a book. Like, I'm not the type of person that'll be like, I have nothing to do, I'm gonna go find a good book to read. Like, not really, but if I, like, have a good book to read already, like, if someone recommended it to me or something, and I have to read a book and I like it, like, I can get through them fast because I like to read it. If that makes sense, I don't know, I just don't really, like, seek out books for fun. I think I heard something about the movie, saw something online or something, and I was like, you know what, maybe I'll just try and read that tonight, since I have always kind of wanted to in the back of my mind. So I downloaded the first one on my Kindle, and I read the first chapter, and I was kind of like confused what was happening because I didn't really like catch on to like the setting exactly, and because they kind of slowly incorporate that later, not really in the first chapter. So I was like, wait, why is she crawling under a fence? Da, 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 I don't know. But this, keep in mind, this was also like really late at night, and I was like right about to go to bed, so I wasn't really with it anyway. I'm not a night person, just if you didn't tell already. And then I went to bed, and then the next day I picked it up and I read the second chapter, and I finished that book that day because I loved it so much and I couldn't put it down. The rundown of the plot, if you haven't read it, after I give you the rundown, I'd probably suggest not watching this because I'll probably give away spoilers. But it's about a girl named Katniss and her family, and she lives in the future. It doesn't really specify a time period, really. North America has become Panem, which is a country, and it's divided into districts, and she lives in the 12th district, which is the last one. Well, there's a District 13, but it was like blown up by the Capitol many years ago because there was a rebellion many years ago. So, at the end of that rebellion, the Capitol, which is like really, really strict government, crazy, you know, that kind of story, science fiction, crazy government kind of things. The Capitol like sets up these things called the Hunger Games, where every year, I think it's annual, they pull a girl and a boy from each of the 12 districts to basically come into an arena that they pre-made, like they control it, and they have to fight to the death, and the last person standing that isn't dead is the winner, and they get like riches and fame and yada yada yada. So yeah, that's basically the plot, and this girl Katniss is pulled into the Hunger Games, and then she's trying to stay alive. So that's like really vague of it, kind of. I just gave backstory and like what happens, but I really don't want to try and give that much away, except, okay, well, if you are interested in reading it and you haven't yet, then I'd suggest leaving now, because this is probably when I'm going to start talking about like things that I've always wanted to discuss with people that read it. I don't even see why people say like Team Peeta, Team Gale, like there's not teams, because obviously, okay, this is my interpretation. I mean, some people might like Gale better, but I feel like the author was trying to make you like Peeta better because I loved Peeta so much and I still love him, and it's just like, it's like just the way that she played it out. I feel like she was trying, she wasn't like trying to divide this like Twilight, like Team Edward, Team Jacob. I feel like that's just how the story went. There's not really teams, but I mean, you can totally disagree with that if you like Gale better, but I just personally thought that she made Peeta more appealing, I feel like. I don't know. But I mean, I still like Gale and like how he's stuck by Katniss, sort of. Was anyone else like super curious the whole time how old President Snow is? Cause like, I pictured him as like, I don't even know, like young-ish for an older man. Maybe like in his 60s or something. But then it says that when they're talking like in the future when Peeta and Katniss are like going back and watching old Hunger Games videos from when they're training for the second Hunger Games, then it says like when they were watching Haymitch's that I was so confused because it said that President Snow was there, he just looked younger. So, and that was like 25 years before. So if he was like still old enough to be president, then he must be pretty old. But I can't picture like a really old guy being President Snow. I don't know, it doesn't seem right, like threatening Katniss over the table or whatever. I was just like really confused. So comment down below how old do you guys think President Snow is supposed to be? Because I was thinking like 60. But if, well, I guess he could have been president at 35, but that's just like, I don't know, it just seems really weird to me. Because he had probably been president for a while during Haymitch's games too, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm not making sense. I guess he could be president for 25 years without being too young to begin with. I feel like the movie is so well cast, and probably a lot of people are going to disagree with me. Peeta, like, I didn't picture him as Josh at all when I was reading the books. Like, I pictured Peeta as Kostas from Teens React. Yeah, I'm obsessed with Kostas. I'll link Teens React episode down below and you can see Kostas, and that's how I pictured Peeta. But anyway, so like, I didn't picture Peeta like Josh, but then like when I watched like the trailer and stuff and saw more about it, like I could see him being Peeta. I just didn't picture him as Peeta to begin with, I guess. Like usually when you picture characters in books, it's really hard to sway that in your mind that they don't look like that. But I think he's gonna make a good Peeta. I hope so, because Peeta's my favorite. Katniss, I don't know, I feel like, I mean, I really like Jennifer Lawrence as Katniss, but I feel like she looks a little old to be Katniss, because she's like, I think she's like 21 or 22, but that's like 5 years, and when Katniss is only supposed to be 16, that kind of is a big jump. But, I mean, I think she works, like, she's a really good Katniss of what I can tell so far. It's just, her face just doesn't seem quite, I don't know. But obviously looks are not everything when it comes to characters, they're a big deal, but her acting is probably awesome. That's probably why she was cast, because I bet they went through hell to get the perfect Katniss, because, I mean, imagine if you had to be in a movie and you had like this huge fan base around it of people that would probably consider murdering you if you did the slightest thing wrong with their favorite character. So she's probably gonna be pretty good. Liam Hemsworth is perfect for Gale, like perfect. Haymitch, okay, when I was reading, I totally pictured Haymitch as like Dr. House from, I've never watched House, but I've seen like commercials and stuff, so I know what Dr. House looks like. If you've seen that show, House, I think it's just called House. It's about a doctor named House. Well, his last name is House. And I totally pictured Haymitch as House with like a little bit of shaggier, longer hair. But I think the Haymitch they picked for the movie is pretty good too. His wig, I'm pretty sure he wears a wig and it looks a little bit fake. Effie, I feel like Effie is going to be perfect. Like in her, like Effie, when I was reading the book, she bugged me so much. But I feel like her, who plays her? I think Elizabeth Banks or something like that. I've never heard of her before, but I'm not very good at actors and placing them and stuff. But I've just been obsessed with the movie, so I've been stalking it. Tell me if I'm wrong. Don't tell me, because I'm not wrong. Zac Efron would be the most perfect Finnick ever. Ever. If he was Finnick, my life would be complete. Like, he is perfect. Perfect for Finnick. And I tweeted this, and a few people tweeted me back, and one person's like, no, I don't see it at all. I was like, you cannot tweet me back because that is not valid. I'd be the perfect Annie. This is more of a video like talking about the characters in the movie, which is kind of funny. I'm gonna have to say that The Hunger Games was my favorite, not because of like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like, The Hunger Games was my favorite because I liked what happened in The Hunger Games best, because like, Peeta and Katniss got to be together happily. I don't know, like I just enjoyed reading that one the most probably. But I mean, I loved all of them to death, don't get me wrong. Mockingjay was probably my second favorite, and Catching Fire was probably my least favorite. But don't, like I said, I still love Catching Fire, like, to death. But it's probably the one I liked, like, I enjoyed the least out of the three. In Mockingjay, when they brought Peeta back, from the Capitol, and he was, like, what they call it, hijacked, I was just really disappointed in how they played that out in the end, because I was, like, I thought that was a really good idea. It was, like, a twist in the story, like, when he came there and they totally didn't expect it. Like, I thought it would have been pretty kind of lame if he had just, like, come, like, I would have loved that they were back together, but it would have been kind of lame on the author's part if he had just come back and they'd been together happily. But at the same time, I didn't want him to be, like, hijacked, you know, for emotional reasons. But from the author's perspective, that was a really good idea. But then I hated how I don't know, I think the end was just kind of, I wasn't very content with it. Like, I was waiting for that moment when Katniss, like, saw the boy with the bread again. It never was, like, a defining moment when he was, like, him again. Like, they said that he slowly came back to normal and they, like, lived happily ever after. But I feel like there should have been, like, something, like, one little thing that, like, triggered something. I don't know. I feel like he should have, like, he didn't even have to be 100% normal again, just something like, and then he said this and she saw him again, she remembered, or something like that. I don't know. I just felt like that kind of left me hanging, like how Peeta was never really back to normal. That was kind of disappointing. And when Finnick died, I seriously was so mad. I was so mad. I was about ready to put down the book when Finnick died. I was actually, like, really mad. So, because I loved Finnick. He was one of my favorites, and I really don't think he should die. I think something that I just really loved about this book is how it wasn't about the love. Like, the love was, like, really good in it and everything, because I love Katniss and Peeta and everything. But it wasn't about it, you know what I mean? Like, Twilight, it was just, like, all about the little love triangle, but in the Hunger Games, it was, like, about standing up and the rebellion and everything, and the love triangle was on the side, so it wasn't, like, the main focus, but you still got your little, like, romance fix or whatever. And I liked how Katniss was, like, the strong one, because usually in stories and things like that, it's like, oh, the guy is the one that's watching out for the girl, and she's wounded, she's sitting alone, and he has to go and fend for them. And I thought it was good how they finally had, like, the girl that was stronger. Kind of just, like, a breath of fresh air. Like, it wasn't, like, she was a damsel in distress or anything. But, like, at the same time, I felt like it was pretty balanced, and it was good. I'm actually kind of glad that I didn't read the books until now, because if I had read them, say, like, a year ago or even a few months ago, I'd probably, like, pull my hair out. Too excited for this movie. There's two, like, parody videos of it that I've been obsessed with watching. Like, I've literally watched both of them probably, like, more than 5 times. They're just so awesome. I love them. And one of them is by Joey Graceffa and Luke Connor, and I don't know the girl's name because I don't watch her. Sorry, but I'll link it down below, and it's awesome. It's like them singing to Britney Spears' I Wanna Go. They're characters from the story singing. I don't know, it's awesome. And then the other one is this girl, and she made a song to Grenade about the Hunger Games, and it's awesome. The whole ending, I feel like, was kind of rushed of Mockingjay. Like, I mean, obviously there's not really a way to drag that out, but I just felt like it was just like, bam, done. Kind of, if bits of information were kind of missing, I don't know. Maybe that was just my thought. But, like, when Prim died, I was, like, really angry. Like, I feel like, I don't know, like, obviously you can't have a total happy ending, but the whole thing was, like, the entire thing, everything, the revolution, the Hunger Games, everything happened to keep Prim alive, and the fact that she died in the end, I feel like kind of, like, crumbled it for me. Like, when you think about it, like, she was the reason that Katniss went, set the spark, set the revolution, everything, and then she's just, like, gone. Gale was just, like, out of the picture, and that's it. Like, I feel like that was a little weird, and you never heard of him again, which was really sad, because they're supposed to be best friends. When the victors were, like, meeting in the room, and they were, Coin gathered them together to propose holding another Hunger Games for the Capitol's children, I thought that was really stupid. Like, why would they even think about holding another Hunger Games? Even if they were for people that they didn't even like. Like, that's totally... That was, like, the whole reason they had this revolution, is to overturn the government that was so corrupt, that was holding Hunger Games, and then they're like, maybe we should throw one to give them a taste of their own medicine. Like, no, that was just stupid. But I'm glad that that didn't happen. And I thought that was really dumb that Katniss voted for it, because, like, she's like, for Prim, but it's like, how is that even gonna do anything for Prim? Like, she's gone. You're not gonna hold a Hunger Games to kill other children to make yourself feel better that she's gone. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So those are my thoughts on the Hunger Games series. I know I talked so much about this and I am so obsessed with them, and if you haven't read them, then you shouldn't be watching up to this point because I just spoiled like everything for you. In the new trailer that just came out a couple days ago, it's Prim that hands Katniss the Mockingjay pin, which is really confusing to me because I guess they just like cut Madge out of the picture completely, but I don't know. But I feel like Madge was, well, I guess she wasn't like that important. Why would Prim have a Mockingjay pin? Like, because, okay, if Prim had the Mockingjay pin, then that means there's no Madge, and that means there's no Madge's mom, which means that Haymitch's story is completely thrown off with like Maisley Donner, who had the Mockingjay pin, you know what I mean? So that was just kind of like, I don't know how they're gonna play that out, but maybe they'll like change Haymitch's story. I don't know, but I loved Haymitch's story, so. Anyway, okay, now I'm just rambling on, but I'm obsessed with this book series. I love you guys, and yay, I'm so excited for the Hunger Games movie. Okay, I'm gonna go and be obsessed and keep reading Mockingjay for the second time, so I love you guys. Bye!